Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about JVs and how to split the pie in real estate. This is the topic of today's video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Shimoni. I'm an international investor, invest in the US, and I'm here to talk about real estate related stuff, especially for young men who is looking to start doing some business. Well, I got this question from one of my best students, and he is now on a journey for his fourth deal. And here is his question. Hey, Dan, I've been thinking about creative ways to finance deals, especially JVs. JV is a joint venture. My question, how do you decide the best way to split a JV so it's fair and both sides win? So basically win-win, right? For example, if one person finds a good deal and brings someone else, how do you decide who gets what? How do you make the numbers work so it's a win-win? It's a great question, and we're going to talk about this today. I heard one podcast that said that there are four parts: the person who finds the deal, the one who gets the loan, the one who manages the renovation, and the one who brings the down payment. Okay, each person should get their share, but they didn't say exactly how much. Well, that's why we are here, to talk about how much, right? And dive into the numbers. So what do you think is the right way to divide things up in a JV? Well, let's divide this up. So I kind of disagree about the three roles. I look at it differently. I think it's much easier when you look at things differently. Real estate is like a triangle. We have three parts. The first part, as you said as well, is the guy who finds the deal, the deal sourcer. We will talk about each part and how much each part should get. The second part is the money partner. Sometimes the money partner is the bank. Sometimes the money partner is a money partner, a private equity investor and a bank. Sometimes it's hard money lenders. So we have multiple money partners. I'm going to talk about them, don't worry. And the third dot in the triangle is the field guy, I call it, or we should call it field, right? So basically, the triangle in my mind is field, office, money. So you need all of them to make a deal. And I call the deal sourcer the office guy. This is how I call him, but not always. So the reason why not many people talk about actual numbers is not because they don't want to, it's because this whole thing is part of negotiation, right? This whole thing is part of negotiation. Let's talk about the interests of each point in the triangle. First, we're going to talk about the deal sourcer. He's the guy that finds the deal, and he's responsible for making the deal happen. So basically, he's the guy that structures everything up. And that's the best way, the best place to be, I think, because this is the most powerful position in the negotiation table, because the deal sourcer have multiple options for each and every other dot in the triangle. But without him, there is no triangle. If there is no someone on the field, okay, we can find another person. If there is no money, we can find a different money source. But if there is no deal, well, it's as simple as that. Find the deal, and if it's good enough, it's gonna happen. Don't worry about this. So the deal sourcer, his interest is the deal to happen. Because the deal, if the deal doesn't happen, well, he doesn't get paid at all. The deal sourcer can get paid in three different sections of the deal. First, when he finds the deal. Second, during the management period. Third, when you sell the property. Let's say you are buying a rental. You can get paid as a deal sourcer when you found it as a finder's fee, And here, usually the numbers, from what I know, in the Midwest can fluctuate, of course. But I think the least amount of cash a deal sourcer will take, even if it's a wholesaler, and he basically, wholesaler is a deal sourcer that gave up on the rest. He doesn't want to enjoy the management fees, and he doesn't want to enjoy the appreciation and a fee during sale in order to make quick profit and be done with it and move to the next deal, which is a tactic, but I don't think it's a good long-term strategy. I think the least amount of dollars you can take as a finder's fee is $2,500. And this can range all the way up to 10K, 15K, and obviously if it's a very good deal, even more. How do you decide how much you're gonna take for finder's fee? Now here we need to talk about your other partners, the other parts of the triangle. So let's talk about the money person. Money person doesn't have to be one person. Also, the deal sourcer doesn't have to be one person. They're just one dot in the triangle, one side of the triangle. So money partner can be the bank. How much the bank wants, just they set the specific amount of return. That's it. That's all they want, right? The money element inside a real estate deal wants is two things. And the first is more important than the second. The second is return on his investment. All right, that's the second. But the first is return off his investment. This is the most important part for the money element inside real estate transactions. Think about the bank, hard money lenders, and private equity investors. This is what they care about. They want to know that their money they put inside the deal is relatively safe. Even if you're gonna be gone, their money is relatively safe. This is very important for the money partner, probably the most important. And second is return on their investment, which is most of the time, right? Money partner just want a certain percent on their money. Usually as low as 6%, I would say, all the way up to 14%. 14% gonna be hard money lender, probably, that doesn't really want, maybe 16, 60%. So this is basically like a credit card loan, The hard money lender just wants to make a profit. He understands the game, he knows the real estate inside out, and he's looking to provide quick cash solutions to flippers, mostly BRR also. So this is the all the way up there, and 6% nowadays. What a bank will take you for a 30-year mortgage. Probably a lot of private equity investors would like 6% as well if they are comfortable with you and with the deal. And usually I would say 7-8% if you're working with a regular person, normal person. And so probably I would say 7 to 12%. This is like the modest and logical approach. Now, the money partner can be risk-free, like get a certain percentage no matter what, or it can be performance-based, get a percentage of the profit of the deal, and then he will feel more risk about the second part, but remember the first one is more important. So this is about the deal sourcer and the money partner. For ongoing management, the deal sourcer can take probably 5% from the gross income of a rental property. I would say 5% is probably a good number to take if you're not a property manager, right? Property manager will take 10% of gross rent, but if you're just managing the managers, that's usually 5% of gross rent or 10%. Some people even take 20% of the net income. So the profit, the cash flow, the real one, net profit. And you can take percentage of the profit you made for your investors when you sell the property. So this here also, it's a part of negotiation. And this here is from, I would say, 10% of the profit made for the investor. And when you sell the property, all the way up to 50%, 60% even. It really depends. Usually you would take 50% of the profit in a flipping project, right, during sale, because you're not going to take finder's fee for the fact that you found a real estate transaction. Going to make the deal happen, then take 50% of the profit, sometimes even more. But I think 50. If the other person brings all the money, you should take 50. So how do you structure that? You think about the investor. You think about, like, they want probably 7-8% return on their investment, and they want return of their investment. So you try to create something that will feel comfortable with. If the deal you made is worth, I don't know, you found a deal for 50K that worth 120, right? So 50K, 60K all in cost, and it's worth 120 the day after you finish the renovations. That's a great deal. You probably can take a very high finder's fee here, but you might even prefer to take higher percentage when you sell the property and not think as a wholesaler, because the wholesaler would just sell the property for 20K or 30K even finder's fee. All right, and that's it, it will be gone. But I think what you can do is you can take more percentage when you sell the property for the investors, for the money partners, and less percentage or less fixed finder's fee. Because when you play the long-term game, you understand that real estate can appreciate. You can also work with bank and hard money lenders, and this will probably work out very well for you. Then you don't need any real person money partner. You can just do it with the bank. It's really a matter of taste. And third, we can talk about the field guy. The field guy, in my opinion, never gets percentage. They just get paid for their work. That's it. You get paid per visit in the project, or you get paid, you are the contractor, right? So you get paid for the project, or you are the property manager or the real estate agent. Field people get paid for their job, basically. How much you pay them depends on the project, right? But usually they take, I don't know, percentage of the project you're gonna get. I don't know. So also, it's a matter of negotiation, but it's a fixed amount, right? It's not they are getting share of the pie. They're just part of the expenses of the deal. They're not share of the pie. This is what I think about this. I think the best place to be is the deal sourcer. This is what I like to do. This is my business. This is the YS Invest, my business. And also another thing I would want to say, I don't really like the term creative financing. I don't really like it. There's nothing creative. We just try to make the deal done. Like, we're trying to finance the deal. That's it. Also, there is no JV here. It's just partners, just trying to add partners to the deal. Last point for you, which you're probably asking, is like JVs, right? I'm looking for partners. So for each point in the triangle, the contractor has subcontractors. The property manager has employees. You as the office point, you can have more partners to help you source and structure the deal or do the due diligence and all this kind of stuff. So I would say, even if you are in each part of the triangle, you can have splitting inside of that. If you find managing the flips very difficult, so you can bring in someone that will help you do that and split 50-50 with your share as an office guy, and as the deal sourcers. So really, I think it's not that complicated. I hope you realize like numbers and all of that. And most important is negotiation. That's it. And you cannot do this negotiation imaginally thinking about something. You need to go out there, find a good deal, and see how you structure it. You have all those options to get paid. See how to make the best out of it. That's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, share the love. And you know how to share it. With like buttons, subscribe buttons, or comments, wherever you want to share it. And if you feel it, please share it. You can ask questions yourself and get answers by leaving a comment or send me your question via DM. And if it's long enough and interesting enough, it might end up in this sort of video newsletter. Until next time, very good to be here. Very good that you are here. Keep on investing wisely. Bye-bye.